Hello everyone. Taking on a Sigma female is like unknowingly walking into a trap you set for yourself. She doesn't respond in the ways you might predict. Instead of losing her cool, she steps aside, observes quietly, and watches as you make mistakes. In reality, any attempt you make to harm her eventually backfires on you. It's not that she's invincible. She simply knows how to keep her emotions from being manipulated. You may think you're gaining the upper hand, but really, you're not. So, if you believe you can defeat a Sigma female, get ready, because you will actually discover someone who thrives as you deal with the consequences of your actions. Let's dive in, unique treasures. I suggest watching the whole video for a clearer understanding of this, and I look forward to your views in the comments. Number 1. You're engaging in a fight that she isn't even aware of. You might think you're caught up in a huge showdown with a Sigma female. But here's a reality check. You're in this fight alone. She doesn't even know there's a conflict. While you're making plans and strategies, she's living in her own world, pursuing her dreams, achieving her goals, and living her life as if you're not even there. It's like showing up with a water gun to a fight that the other person didn't even agree to join. In her mind, your efforts to upset her don't matter at all. She's not spending any energy on your drama because, to be honest, she just doesn't care. You're caught up in this big internal battle, crafting your plans, thinking you've trapped her. But the truth is, she's not even playing along. She's already tuned out, far ahead, focusing on things that really matter to her, like her ambitions, her passions, and maybe even a well-earned break. Meanwhile, you're left worn out, wondering why nothing seems to be effective. Spoiler alert, it's because she's not taking part in your game. She's too busy moving up in life, leaving you to fight with shadows. It's not that she's ignoring you out of spite. She simply has more important things to focus on. In the end, you're the only one losing this battle, and trust me, it's tough to win when the other person never showed up in the first place. Number 2, you'll end up showing how strong she is. If you attempt to rattle a Sigma female, you are essentially giving her another reason to shine. As you plot and think you're causing her trouble, she's already beyond that phase. What you fail to see is that your actions actually make her stronger. Instead of breaking her spirit, you end up proving how tough she is. Consider this. Every obstacle, every scheme, every mean remark just reminds her of her own strength. You're not going to bring her down, sorry, but you're just not that influential. Instead, you'll end up being a part of her survival story, probably without meaning to. You might have thought your actions would leave a mark, that they would be significant, but in truth, you're just a small step she climbs on her path, a fleeting figure in the backdrop of her advancing life. And don't expect her to get stuck or show weakness. No way, she'll recover quicker than you think, turning all the trouble you caused into a win for herself. She'll silently note you down as another challenge she's conquered and continue on, hardly sparing you another thought. So, while your intention might have been to disrupt her life, you've actually just secured yourself a place to watch her flourish. Not really the role you anticipated, right? Number 3, you will lose control before you know it. If you think you can upset or manipulate a Sigma female, you are entering a battle you're totally unready for. It's amusing because she's not even engaging in the same contest as you. While you're caught up making plans, setting emotional traps, or attempting to sway her, she remains cool, calm, and not bothered at all. She has perfected the skill of keeping her composure, and her patience is more than just a way to get by. It's her tactic. You might be taking swings, but she's not even in the fight. What you'll eventually realize, though far too late, is that she's already clinched victory without even making a move. As you were falling apart, thinking you were in control. She was just observing from afar, subtly taking her position. The control you thought you held, it was never truly in your hands. By the time you realize what's happening, she's already far ahead, leaving you to chase something you never really understood. Here's the twist. She doesn't get involved in drama, respond with anger, or let you see her upset. No, that would be too simple. Instead, she acts quietly, allowing you to fall apart while she gracefully leaves the situation, keeping her pride intact. You'll lose control without noticing, and by the time you do, it'll be too late to mend anything. It's like trying to hold on to smoke. Just when you think you've caught it, it has already escaped your grasp. Thank you, valued subscribers, for your continuous support. It means a lot to us and motivates us to keep creating impactful content. We deeply value your involvement and commitment. Number 4. Her next achievement will damage your pride. The hardest part will be realizing that your attempts to bring down a strong woman not only failed, they spectacularly backfired. You thought you could harm her, maybe throw her off her path, but instead, her next achievement will shine brightly, showing how little effect you really had. While you're left dealing with your bruised pride, she'll be prospering, completely unaffected. What's more, she won't even bother acknowledging your efforts to pull her down. She'll move on so quickly and successfully, it'll seem as if you were never there. That's the part that's going to hurt the most. Her next big step, whether in her career, personal development, or simply living her best life, will quietly yet powerfully dent your pride. It's like being a bystander, watching the person you tried to undermine win effortlessly without even noticing you. You'll find yourself coming to terms with the fact that your actions were not just unhelpful, but also totally irrelevant to her. She has already forgotten you while you're still fixated on your unsuccessful schemes. The silent agony of seeing her flourish without you, despite your best efforts to harm her, will stay with you long after she has moved on to greater things. The reality is, her achievements will only highlight how insignificant you are, and that's what will truly hurt. Number 5. Trying to dominate will turn into an obsession. If you attempt to dominate or harm a Sigma female, you end up getting caught in your own trap. She has a knack for getting to you, not because she plays tricks, but because she's incredibly tough. While you're busy trying to manipulate or break her, you find yourself thinking about her more and more. Before you realize it, she's constantly on your mind, but not in the way you intended. You wanted to dominate, but instead, you've become obsessed. The irony is almost poetic. The harder you push, the more you find yourself drawn to her resilience. She's not crumbling as you expected. She's actually flourishing, and it's driving you mad. She remains calm and goes about her life, not bothered by your attempts to shake her. As you get more frustrated, wondering why your plans aren't working, her strength becomes your obsession. That's where everything backfires. You won't break her, but in trying so hard, you end up breaking yourself. Your desire for control consumes you, and rather than achieving your aim, you're stuck in a continuous cycle of irritation. Meanwhile, she remains unaffected by your efforts, leaving you to face the consequences of your own fixation. It's a harsh cycle, one that you started without realizing. Number 6. She will turn the mess you make to her advantage. When you challenge a Sigma female with mayhem, it's like giving her the building blocks she needs to become even stronger. She's an expert at transforming emotional turmoil into something beneficial. Whatever trouble or confusion you think you're causing, she'll dismantle it and reshape it to her advantage. What you see as a disruptive storm only ends up making her stronger. Not everyone has this capability. While many might break down under such stress or get lost in the disorder, she's quietly making the best out of the ruins you tried to make. You might think you're creating havoc, but she's already moving forward, using your chaos to toughen up even more. The most impressive part: she comes out of it looking tougher than before, leaving you baffled by the chaos you thought would defeat her. She has this remarkable talent for flipping the situation without your notice. By the time you realize what's happened, it's too late. You're just a forgotten part of her ascent, left to puzzle over how everything went wrong. However, it's not her world that's falling apart. She's constructed something solid from the mess you made, and now you're the one struggling to keep up. Number 7. She will make you doubt who you are. Attempting to undermine a Sigma female is like looking into a mirror, and the reflection you see may not be flattering. She possesses such a firm understanding of who she is that your attacks don't disturb her stability. Rather, you end up facing all the areas where you fall short. It's similar to trying to break a stone using a feather. You exert so much energy, but the only thing that ends up breaking is your own perception of yourself. The thing about a Sigma female is she not only knows her identity, she stands firm in it. That's why it feels so awkward when you try to harm her. Although she remains unshaken, you begin to wonder why you tried to bring her down in the first place. Spoiler: it's likely because you're grappling with your own feelings of self-worth. As you try to highlight her shortcomings, you soon discover that it's your own insecurities that are being revealed. It's like throwing punches in a fight with shadows, where the real opponent is yourself. And here's the twist: she doesn't even need to respond. Simply by being her authentic self, she compels you to confront the flaws you've been overlooking. So, ultimately, your effort to diminish her evolves into an uncomfortable journey of self-discovery. And believe me, that's not the fight you expected to encounter. Number 8. She learns quickly and won't be fooled the same way again. If somehow you end up hurting a Sigma female once, well done. That's your one chance gone. She doesn't get fooled more than once. Once she notices your harmful ways, she changes so fast you won't know what hit you. She's like a quick, sharp warrior of the mind. She never forgets a lesson. The first time you hurt her, it might hurt a bit. She might even pause to question it briefly. But the moment she realizes what you're up to, she'll close the door on you forever. You won't get another chance. She'll cut you off from her life completely. No second chances, no do-overs. She won't make a big scene when she leaves either. She'll just quietly vanish, leaving you puzzled about when you lost her. Here's the interesting part. While you're still trying to play your old tricks, she's already improved herself. She's moved on, strengthened her barriers, and you're left outside, wondering how things turned sour so quickly. You won't get the chance to trick her again, because honestly, she won't let you close to her again. So, feel free to pat yourself on the back for hurting her once. Just don't expect to do it again. Sigma females don't replay old scenes, and they certainly don't hang around for those who reveal their true selves after the facade falls. Number 9. She'll make you feel unimportant. If you try to upset a Sigma female, you'll find out something that hurts more than any payback. She makes you feel like you don't matter at all. She isn't trying to be mean or get back at you. She just really doesn't care enough to bother with you. That's where it really starts to hurt. You might have expected her to react dramatically, maybe even angrily, but instead, you get nothing. It's like making a fuss in a room where no one's around. Her skill in stepping back is her greatest strength. While you're left waiting for her to react, she's off living her life, acting like you're not even there. The quiet isn't her being indirectly hostile. It's the sound of you becoming unimportant. And that, more than any direct fight, eats away at your pride. You'll come to see that in her life story, you're barely a minor detail. And that's when you realize she doesn't see you. She isn't spending any effort on you, and that's what stings the most. A Sigma female knows how to keep moving on without a backward glance. Your efforts to upset her just disappear into the backdrop of her life, while you're left wondering why nothing you did seemed to impact her. Here's the truth: it didn't. She's already focused on bigger and better things, leaving you to face the tough reality of your own insignificance. In the end, trying to hurt a Sigma female is like trying to punch a brick wall. You're the one who ends up hurt. She's made differently, with a toughness that turns every attempt to bring her down into fuel for her to grow. Any try to control, trick, or harm her only ends up showing your own shortcomings. As you're occupied with planning, she's quietly adjusting, growing and moving forward without a second glance. What makes it even harder is that she doesn't waste energy on revenge or small-minded tactics. She avoids getting caught up in a clash of egos. Instead, she takes the turmoil you create, turns it into something that benefits her own success, and leaves you behind, puzzled about how you became so unimportant in her life. And the hard truth? By the time you understand the backfire, it'll be too late. She'll have moved up to a new level, and you'll be left to deal with the consequences of your actions while she prospers. Trying to harm a Sigma female isn't just a battle you can't win. It's one where you're the only one who ends up hurt. Number 10. She turns your negativity into her motivation. When you attempt to bring a Sigma female down with negativity, it's akin to trying to extinguish a fire with gasoline. It only fuels her to burn brighter and stronger. Every harsh word, every undermining action, rather than weakening her resolve, solidifies her determination to succeed. Each negative comment becomes a challenge that she is eager to overcome, a doubt that she is determined to dispel. This relentless pursuit of proving skeptics wrong not only drives her, but also enhances her ability to thrive under pressure. It's as if every attempt to drag her down instead equips her with a stronger set of wings. So, in your efforts to suppress her, you are unwittingly serving as the catalyst for her elevation. She transforms every bit of criticism and negativity into a powerful source of motivation, pushing herself to achieve goals that perhaps even she hadn't imagined possible. Instead of succumbing to negativity, she rises above it, using it as a tool to carve out her path to success. This dynamic not only frustrates those who wish to see her fail, but also inspires those around her, showcasing a remarkable example of resilience and determination. Number 11. Your attempts to isolate her only build her network. Trying to isolate a Sigma female from her social circle is an endeavor doomed to backfire spectacularly. Far from finding herself alone, she becomes a beacon that attracts even more people to her side. As you try to pull her friends away, they witness her strength, grace, and unwavering positivity in the face of adversity, which only draws them closer to her. Her circle doesn't shrink. Instead, it expands significantly. She becomes a magnet for loyalty, attracting people who are drawn to her genuine character and resilience. This growth in her network isn't just in numbers, but also in the quality of connections. Her relationships are strengthened, and new ones are formed with those who respect and admire her ability to handle challenges with grace. Your plan to isolate her inadvertently turns her into a central figure in a network brimming with trust, support, and mutual respect. This thriving community not only supports her in times of need, but also becomes a powerful resource in her pursuit of personal and professional goals. illustrating the paradoxical effect of your attempts at isolation. Number 12. She transforms criticism into a masterclass. Every critique leveled at a Sigma female is not taken as a slight, but as a critical learning opportunity. She has the unique ability to listen actively, discern constructively, and leverage criticism to better herself. Where others might see criticism as debilitating, she sees it as an invaluable feedback mechanism. This approach allows her not just to respond, but to refine and elevate her capabilities continually. She doesn't react with defensiveness or denial. Instead, she embraces a quiet determination to evolve and improve. Each bit of feedback is carefully examined and transformed into practical steps for improvement. She uses these critiques as a springboard for personal growth and professional development. By converting what could be perceived as negative into a constructive force, she ensures that every bit of feedback adds to her skill set, making her more adept and versatile. This transformation of criticism into a self-improvement tool not only helps her in her personal growth, but also sets an example for those around her, demonstrating how perceived negatives can be converted into positive gains. Through this process, she turns potential setbacks into setups for future success, proving that in the right hands, even criticism can be a gateway to greatness. Thanks to you, everyone, for listening. Keep a sharp eye. I'll see you in the next video. God bless you, and as always, until next time.